be having the token soul Bitbond, and we'll be having Radko, representing the team. So Radko, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself? What is the token soul all about, and what do you guys kind of like building in terms of like crypto perspective and utility across the stream?
Hi, I'm Radko. I'm the founder and CEO of Bitbond. I've been running Bitbond for quite a few years now together with my team. And at Bitbond, we focus on providing a product that we call Token Tool. Token Tool is, first of all, a token generator. So it allows you to configure and create tokens in a super easy way in a no-code style so that you don't need to write your own smart contracts. So it's a token generator. We're currently on 12 EVM chains, so Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Base, Arbitrum Optimism, and a few others. And on the one hand, you can create tokens. On the other hand, you can also configure other smart contracts like token lockers, crowd sale contracts in a super easy way, again, without having to code the underlying smart contracts yourself. So that's what we do, and very happy to be talking about that in more detail. Also talk about crypto, whatever you guys are interested in, and yeah, answer any questions that you may have.
So, can you dive us through the token Bitbond roadmaps and the future goals? As long as you guys have been building for almost about a couple of years, so tell us through about the roadmaps and the goal you guys are aiming forward to.
So, yeah, we provide tokenization capabilities since about 5 years now, since 2019. As Bitbond in 2019, we conducted the first security token offering in Europe. So we were the first STO that got approval and that was launched. And yeah, so this is where we're coming from. And since then, we have productized our own tech to make it available to a broader audience. If you look at Bitbond and Token Tool today, you will see that a lot of our users come from sectors like meme coins. There's definitely a lot of meme coiners creating their meme coins on Token Tool. We have a lot of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations that use Bitbond Token Tool in order to create their governance tokens, in order to set up token lockers, token vesting. These are also capabilities that we cover. Then we have a lot of users that are creating utility tokens that are running a token sale. So you can also run a crowd sale contract from Bitbond that you can configure very easily and then launch it. So this could be like a regular ICO, initial coin offering. You can also do an STO, what we did, a security token offering. A lot of people are running IDOs, initial DEX offerings with our help. Yeah, they can lock up the tokens, both the team tokens, but also the liquidity pool tokens. After you've created a token, we have a very convenient method to launch a liquidity pool on a decentralized exchange. So this is something that also a lot of users do. You can verify the token contracts, obviously, then you can do your own audit. Your investors can do an audit. So this is pretty much where Bitbond Token Tool is today. And if you look at where we're going into the future, then first of all, we're planning to double down on this functionality around IDOs, initial DEX offerings. One thing that we're planning to add support for in the near future is that you can do a fair launch. So right now, the way you do the token sale through Bitbond is you would set a specific price. But in a fair launch, you want to allocate a certain amount of tokens to the audience, and then the price is set equally to everybody after the fair launch is done. This is a feature that we're planning to add as an example. What we're also planning to add is Stellar and Solana as 2 additional non-EVM chains. Solana, we just started the work on. This might also be relevant to this audience because obviously Solana this year picked up quite significantly in the token creation activity. So in the near future, these are some of the, let's say, additions that we're looking at. And then long term, obviously, we want to be the dominant and leading token generator, smart contract generator. There's a few others out there, obviously, but we think we have very strong functionality, and we simply want to dominate the space.
That's fantastic. So if I may ask concerning the token Bitbond, what type of tokens can be created on token to example like maybe a utility security NFT if possible?
Yes, so we support different token standards. And first of all, you can create a very simple DeFi token, which is a simple ERC20 token. You can even customize the smart contract name of the token. You can set a supply cap. So on utility tokens, this is often very important. While you want to activate minting sometimes, you want to have a supply cap, so you can do that. So this is all fairly basic ERC20 functionality. If you want to launch a, let's say, more elaborate coin, you can do that with our security token template, where you can also have centralized features like blacklisting, whitelisting. You can even activate forced transfer, and these sorts of things. And this security token template that we have that uses ERC 1400 standard. So for those of you who may not be familiar with this, the basic token is still an ERC20 token, so it's compatible with all of the wallets that you typically would use, but it uses functions that come from the ERC 1400 standard, and that can make the token quite sophisticated. Besides that, we also support NFT creation, so ERC 721. There we also have two different templates. On the one hand, you can go ahead and create a very straightforward and simple NFT, just based on one asset, like one image file or a video file. But you can also create an entire collection where you have one NFT smart contract under which you have different creatives, different images, different videos. So you can create a quite sophisticated NFT collection. And we even offer NFT sale capability where you would be able to sell your NFTs through a smart contract, so you have safety that the payments will arrive directly in your wallet. It's essentially like a crowd sale contract for the NFTs.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. So when it comes to like the inspiration, if I want to ask, what actually inspired you in terms of like creating the token Bitbond and all this stuff? What's this inspiration behind the creation of token Bitbond?
You mean it's inspiration for us? What was the inspiration for us to build this, or what could inspire other users to create tokens?
Yes. Yep. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
The users. So if you look at the users, there's plenty of use cases. So first of all, there's really a lot of meme coiners who simply see a trend and believe that there will be significant trading around the trend, and then they create a token that picks up on this trend through the token name. They create social accounts that pick up on the trend and try to create like a story around the meme coin. That's most of the time what meme coins essentially are: pick up on current trends and stories that are in the news, or that have a certain trend and memes on Twitter and on Telegram, and so that's one big area. Definitely another big area.
That's fantastic. So how does the token tools ensure like on PMCs, maybe when someone is trying to give a complaint about having some creations of their own tokens and all this stuff? So how regular are you guys, in terms of like giving them a feedback and support to make sure things are going well smoothly?
Well, first of all, the smart contract templates on Token Tool are audited, so you can be sure that you're using a tool that went through very comprehensive audits by several top-notch auditors. So that's one very important point. Then additionally to that, Token Tool has been used for creating over 5,500 tokens. So it's really a lot of tokens that have already been created with it. And this kind of traction that we have is, I would say, pretty strong proof that Token Tool works very well and that it does what it's supposed to do. We also have a very comprehensive product documentation. So when you go to Token Tool, each of the functions that you have, whether that is creating a token or creating a token locker, etc., is very nicely documented. So there's a lot of support that you get really just through the product documentation. But we also have a Telegram channel that is very active where people can ask questions and where they get support. And we even have email support. So if you have a more elaborate question, then you can send it to service@bitbond.com, and we will typically get back to you within 24 hours. So there's a lot of things that we do in order to support you as a user and in order to help you to get your project started.
That's fantastic. So, like when it comes to like partnership perspective, because you can actually achieve a certain goal on your own. You need some certain support from other users. So, is there like any plan on you having some collaboration from other project owners or tokens creators such as you, to work hand in hand and achieve each other goals?
So first of all, what we have is a crypto affiliate program. So if someone is interested to working with us more closely, or if they help us bring other users, then they can get a cut in our revenue, and that happens in a very easy way through discount codes. So if you were to work with us and deliver us users for Token Tool, then you could create your own discount code. By that, we can attribute the revenue to you. And at the same time, your users actually get a discount on the fees that they normally have to pay on Token Tool. So that's one way how we work together with others. And this can be both token creators, but also people who have a strong audience and who can bring users. What we also do is we work together with other companies that in some way or the other have products that are complementary to what we do. Just 2 weeks ago, we were in Barcelona, where we did a workshop together with DEX Tools. I'm sure many of you use these information sites like DEX Screener, DEX Tools, Gecko Terminal. And then we work together with these companies by providing education and by providing a lot of content to our users. So that's another way to be working together. On some levels, we also have more technical and product-related partnerships. So there are some quite sophisticated wallet technologies. One would be, for example, Fireblocks, but also the Safe app. If you go to Gnosis Safe, for example, then there is a list of approved apps, and we are one of them. So directly from within your Safe smart contract wallet, you can log into Token Tool and use it from there. So if some of you guys have more, let's say, infrastructure or tech-oriented companies, then we're also interested to finding partners there and working together more on the product side.
So, when it comes to like differentiation, which is very, common, especially, we do have a lot of people trying to, create something like this, such as you. So what actually differentiates you from them? What is actually this specific utility that differentiates you from other creators who are trying to, implement the idea of token Bitbond?
Yeah, very good question. So on the one hand, I would say that we have a fairly complete set of functionality. So often other token generators would only allow you to create a token, maybe sometimes also create a token locker, but that's about it. I would say that we have the most comprehensive functionality. It's not just about creating token. We also have very comprehensive managed token capabilities, token locker, vesting contract, payment streams. If you want to automate your salaries through a smart contract, we have a token multi-sender through which you can send tokens to many different recipients very efficiently. We have an airdrop tool. So if you want to conduct a token airdrop, then you can do that very easily and at a very low cost through Token Tool. Besides that, we also provide quite some utilities for free on Token Tool. We have a gas price tracker that is completely free. We have crypto faucets. So if you need testnet coins, you can come to Token Tool and get them from there. And I would say in this completeness, there isn't other token generators that would offer it in this way. Then the other thing in terms of differentiation is that I think it's quite unique in the space that we have published audits about Token Tool and the smart contracts that we use. All of the smart contracts are self-developed by our internal team, by the way. So I would say on the security side of things, which obviously is highly important in the context of smart contracts, Token Tool definitely has a lot going for it, which many other token generators don't. And again, the published audit and the fact that thousands of tokens were created with Token Tool that are all secure, none of them had been compromised, is a very strong USP.
That's awesome. So, when looking forward to like your longevity, a lot of people might kind of like be expecting some long-term goals and achievements and all that. So, what do you think users who are actually making use of the token tool should be expecting when it comes to like longevity and all this stuff? Most projects like this come up for maybe a few years. At the end of the day, no news about them and all this stuff. So, what do you think users should be expecting from the console in terms of like longevity?
So definitely, Bitbond is a company that has been up and running for quite some time. Like I mentioned, we started to provide tokenization capabilities in 2019. I think there isn't a lot of other companies that have been in this space and active and successful for over 5 years now. And at the same time, we are very committed to continuing to provide value in this space. If you look at how the product is evolving, then you will notice that almost on a weekly basis, we are improving the product, adding new functionality to it, making sure that we're listening to our users and actually delivering what they need and what they expect from us. So I would say in terms of longevity, these are the strongest signals that we can send, by just, delivering great utility and product capabilities to our users.
That's fantastic. So I think you talk about the audit perspective, which is even important. So let's dive into the security aspect. Audit is well secure and all those other stuffs. So how do you make sure like users who are kind of like making use of token tool in terms of like security aspect, how do you make them feel safe and all this stuff to make sure things are going perfectly? So what are the things you guys are taking care of, to make sure users who are making use of token tools are well safe?
I would say the main aspect really is the published audit that we have, because ultimately, you need to have third parties that create trust and that signal and really can prove that the smart contracts that are being used are secure. But of course, this is also supported by the fact that so many tokens, in fact, over 5,500 tokens have already been created through Token Pool. What you can also do, you can do token verification through Bitbond Token Tool. So when you create a token, after you have launched it, there's literally a button that shows up to you that allows you to verify the token contract. And when you do that, the token contract actually becomes open source. And this allows you to run your own audit on top of the token contract. So you don't have to just take our word for it, but you can go and do an audit yourself. Or if you don't have the technical capabilities to do that, you can also go ahead and appoint another auditor and have them look through the token contract and verify that it is secure to use. So in terms of security, I think we're supporting on from quite a few valuable angles. Again, our own audit, the fact that thousands of tokens have already been created, and we give you the opportunity to run your own audit to verify what we claim and to have that checked by yourself.
That's amazing, Ben. That's cool. Sounds safe to me. That's awesome. So when it comes to like challenges, because I know things might not be that easy for you and all those stuffs. Because when creating a certain project, there's actually gonna be a certain challenges you as a developer or as a creator gonna go through. So can you dive us through some certain challenges you face, while creating Token Tool, and how did you actually overcome them?
Yeah. So first of all, typical challenges that I would say every early stage or every tech company has, like making sure you have the right people on board who have the right technical capabilities, so putting the team together to the point where it's very productive and everybody knows what they are doing. So this is definitely one, let's say, relatively general challenge that is the same for us, like for most other tech companies. Then understanding the market needs, I would say, is a huge topic. The market that we're in is super dynamic. I'm sure everyone here is aware of that. And the use cases are continuously changing. The demands by the users are continuously changing. And staying on top of that is certainly something that's not happening by itself. But you really need to keep an eye out on what your users are doing, listen to what they say, and then making sure that you take the right product priorities in your roadmap. Because the roadmap can easily get outdated within just a few weeks or months. And then the market has changed. You need to do other things than what you have originally planned. And so this dynamic that you have in developing the product and making sure that it meets actually the needs and the requirements of the market, I would say is one of the biggest topics in our industry.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what are the basic goals we all should be looking forward to in terms of like achievement? What are you looking forward to achieve with Token Build Bunch? So what are the certain goals you are looking forward to achieve? We users should expect from you.
Yeah, so the main thing that we expect to achieve is to really be the leading token and smart contract generator. You mentioned it yourself. There's a few other alternatives out there in the market, and the competition for sure isn't sleeping, but they're trying to win this market the same way we do. And so what we want to achieve is simply to outcompete the market by having the by far best product that's out there, by also having the best customer support, because on the one hand, you can create a great product, but if you have users who have questions and who give you feedback and you don't have any channel established to support them, then that can be a disadvantage. So we also want to be outstanding in that regard. And then long term, simply to be the leading company when it comes to token and smart contract generation.
So in terms of like any new trends, especially on blockchain trends and regulators, how did you plan to adapt on them? Maybe every single year we all know that there is actually a new trends and all those stuff. So in terms of like making adjustments regarding to token tools, so how did you plan on adapting with any new trends on the blockchains?
I think there's two ways to be looking at it. On the one hand, there's always new chains coming up, right? You have, 5 years ago when we started with tokenization, Stellar was one of the, let's say, best chains to use because it had really low transaction fees. It's extremely scalable. And at that time, it seemed to us, at least, that Stellar is going to be a very strong chain. But then all of a sudden, great scaling solutions for Ethereum emerged, and Ethereum itself, but also some of the layer twos like Arbitrum and Optimism became very popular. Also, Ethereum competitors launched like Polygon and Avalanche. So to keep up with that, what we need to do continuously is to watch what's happening and which chains people are actually using. We do simply do that by following some important metrics and key performance indicators. KPIs that show us the chain usage. So this is something that we continuously observe and that helps us in our decision making. The other thing that we obviously keep an eye out is what are trends in terms of the smart contracts that people create. For example, taxable tokens a few years ago were not a thing at all, but by now taxable tokens are kind of like a standard. Like, right, a lot of people create tokens that have some form of tax, whether that's a transfer tax or a marketing tax or a buy and sell tax. So I think over the last 2 years or so, we incorporated these features also into Token Tool. And now it's very easy when you use Token Tool to activate tax on a token. Reflection token is another thing where you actually want to reward people who hold a particular token and give them a little cut in each transfer that's happening. This is also something that, we didn't invent ourselves, but we simply saw that there was a lot of demand for it in the market, and a lot of our users have been asking for it. And so we decided to simply add it as a product feature. So ultimately, on the one hand, we need to observe the market and see which chains are in use and how people use these chains. But on the other hand, probably one of our most important sources for our development is the feedback that we are getting by our users, because they will often tell us what they expect, what kind of product features they want, and then we need to channel that into our product roadmap and simply listening to them. And this is something that we're doing a lot, and something that we always strive to achieve.
That's awesome. Also, that sounds promising as well. So, would there be like any programming language for token creations?
So since we are on EVM chains right now, it's primarily Solidity that we use. All of the smart contracts that we provide are EVM chains. But we're looking into adding Solana right now, and there's a good chance that over the next few weeks we will add some token creation capabilities on Solana to Token Tool. And so this is a completely different technical platform. It's done on Rust. And so we are now ramping up our Rust capabilities in the team. So these are the two main programming languages. And then, of course, there's a front-end framework that we use, which is JavaScript-based. So this is also quite important for us. But yeah, really the underlying smart contracts are right now done in Solidity, and we're looking into Rust if we want to support Solana as a chain.
That's awesome. That's cool. So that's a good one as well. So, if I may ask, are there like any support resources that are available for token users and holders?
Sorry, any support?
Like any support resources that are available for
resources? Yes, absolutely. The most important resource, I would say, is our product documentation. When you go to Token Tool, then the URL for that is tokentool.bitbond.com. But when you want to find additional resources, then you can go to our product documentation, which you can find under docs.bitbond.com. And there we have quite comprehensive explanations into how to use Token Tool. And additionally to that, you can also find blog posts that we generated. So we have a relatively active blog where we write about all tokenization related topics, and that helps you to use Token Tool and to make the best out of it. Additionally to these types of resources, we also publish at least one report per year. The most recent one we just launched last week. It's called Tokenization Megatrends, which talks about a lot of data about meme coins, stable coins, real-world asset tokenization, institutional finance. So these are the main mega trends that we identified and that you can learn more about in the report. So our research is definitely one other important source. And last but not least, our Telegram channel is something that a lot of users enjoy, to ask questions, to get in touch with us, to post about feature requests, etc. So this is another part and another resource that our users really appreciate.
That's amazing. That's a good one. So would there be like any certain fee for any creation of a token?
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Like, are there any fee associated with any token creation and all those stuff?
Right. Yes. So we have a model that we call pay-per-use. So first of all, the big advantage is we don't work with a subscription model. So if you want to use Bitbond Token Pool, there's no need to set up any account or any recurring payments. But it's a very simple decentralized application, or Web3 application, as you may call it. You simply log in with your wallet. You don't need to disclose any email address. You don't need to set up a password or anything. But just like you may be used to this from other Web3 applications like decentralized exchanges, for example, you simply log in with your wallet. And then from there, you can start to use Token Tool, and no need to set up any account.
Wow, that's amazing. So will you be giving a discounts, for anyone that actually have a large scale token issuance?
Yes, definitely. So if you want to use Token Pool on a more recurring basis, on the one hand, you will need to pay the pay-per-use fees, because each and every token or smart contract that you generate, you need to pay straight from your wallet. But then if you want to do more than one token, you can reach out to us and we can give you a discount code and make it cheaper for you to create several tokens or several crowd-safe contracts. So that's definitely possible. You can find the prices for Token Tool on our website. When you go to tokentool.bitbond.com, in the top navigation bar, you will see that there is a link called pricing. So from there, you can get to the pricing page, and you will see that a basic token, for example, will cost you a fee of $49. But again, if you want to create more than one token and you become kind of like a recurring user of Token Tool, then there's two things we can do. Either we give you a discount code so that each and every token is cheaper for you because you are using Token Tool so much, up to the point where if you use it really a lot, we can even give you a flat fee where you just pay as a fixed monthly amount, and then you can use Token Tool without any usage limitations. This would be more for like power users that create, I don't know, maybe dozens, even hundreds of tokens every month. But there are some people who do that. We call this version of Token Tool the enterprise version, and you can reach out for us for a pricing quote. So this is definitely possible. And yeah, we want to support our users as best as possible. We don't just differentiate by product capabilities, but we also want to make sure that we are the most cost-effective solution in the market. And again, we can do that by adjusting our pricing based on the needs of our users.
That's awesome. So I want to talk about the price comparison. In terms of like the Token Tool price, how is it like different from other platforms? How is the price differentiation from other platforms, if you want to compare them?
Yes. Of course, I don't know the pricing of all of other comparable platforms off the top of my head. But to give you one example, on Dex Tools, for example, which is an information site in the first place for liquidity pools on decentralized exchanges, they recently added a token generator, and it costs, I think, around about $500 or $600 to create a new token. while the base price to create a new token on TokenTool is $49. So we're talking about 10 times more of the price between the DEX tools token creator and our token creator on TokenTool. So that's a huge margin. Not all of the other token generators might be as expensive, but typically on average, you can say that they are 2 to 3 times more expensive than what we offer. And so this is quite a steep price gap, I would say.
That's good. So I think that's pretty much all I would take from my end. So lastly, because not the least, when it comes to like the token creation, can you kind of like walk us through how the token creation go about the process and all the stuff before we jump into the community question?
Of course, happy to do that. So when you go to tokentool.bitbond.com, the first thing that you need to do is you need to connect your wallet. There's a typical connect wallet button at the top right of the website, like you most likely have seen this on plenty of other Web3 applications. So once you connect your wallet, then on the left-hand side of the website, you will see a create token menu item. You simply click that. And then when you click that, you're directly on the DeFi token creation template. Then you need to configure the token. The most essential things that you have to do is you have to specify a token name, like, I don't know, ABC coin. Then you need to specify a token symbol. This can be the same as the name, so ABC coin, or you just call it ABC. Then you need to specify the initial token supply, so 21 million, for example, or whichever number you feel comfortable with. And you have to specify the number of token decimals. This can be anywhere between 0 to 18. 18 is kind of the standard in ERC20 tokens, but you can also choose a smaller number of decimals. Once you've done that, you can already launch the token, or you can activate further features like burning, for example. If you want to be able to decrease the supply of the token, you will click the toggle that allows you to do burning on the token. And that way you can later on decrease the token supply. There's a few other settings that you can do, but you can ignore them. If you want to have a very simple and basic token, you can ignore all of the other settings, leave them off as they are, and then just proceed to click the create token button. Once you've done that, your MetaMask window will open and it will ask you to confirm the transaction. Because in that moment, you are deploying a new smart contract. You don't actually need to know exactly what that means, but in the background, what happens is it's taking our smart contract template, it will deploy that, and from the very first moment that this token exists, you are the owner of the token smart contract. And then you're done. The token is in your wallet, and you can go ahead and do a contract verification if you want. You can create a liquidity pool on a decentralized exchange. You can add the token to a token locker, etc. So you can do all of these things. However, in the first step, you are done. The token is created, and you can do with it whatever you want because it's yours.
So let's assume maybe probably any issue occurs, and while someone is trying to create one, how fast are you and how reliable should people expect you to respond to them in terms of like solving that situation and any obstacles that comes their way while creating the token?
So fortunately, usually there are no big obstacles that are coming during the token creation. But of course, there's always exceptions, and sometimes people do have questions and support requests. I think the best thing to do is to send a short message into our Telegram channel because there's several team members who continuously keep an eye on the Telegram channel. Plus, we also have a few community members who are very active who answer questions, even if they are not part of the Bitbond team. And then if the issue or question that you have is more complicated, then we may ask you to send us a direct message or to send us an email. But if it's something straightforward that we are capable of answering very easily, then it's perfectly fine to do that in the Telegram channel, and we typically would answer there. Of course, we operate by, let's say, certain business hours. So if it's the middle of the night for us, we operate in European time zone, and we might not be able to respond as quickly. But on average, we probably respond within just a few minutes. Unless you reach us at night time, then it might take us a few hours to respond. But then again, sometimes community members will jump in and will answer questions as well.
Okay, cool. So lastly, what actually you advise to projects that are actually looking forward to leverage tokenization?
So besides selecting a great token generator like Token Tool, what I advise is to think through the tokenomics thoroughly. It's quite important to have your tokenomics well thought through. We also have a blog post on that topic. Tokenomics is a relatively big topic on its own. Usually you want to allocate tokens to the team, to the founding team, because of course the founding team needs to be incentivized to work on the project and to make sure that it's successful. But then you will also usually have buckets for the community, some kind of a grant bucket potentially. You will need to have a certain marketing budget. So sometimes a marketing agency or some influencers who help you market your token will want to get a few tokens. And then, of course, a big chunk of the percentage should be allocated to your token sale so that people who actually want to buy the token can buy enough of it, and that it has a high free float. So a lot of the tokens, after it has been launched, can be traded on a decentralized exchange. If that percentage is too small, then it will look suspicious to investors and people might not be interested in buying your token because they will think that the founding team, for example, has a too high of a percentage that they own and that they are not fully committed to the project. So I would say my biggest piece of advice, again, besides choosing the right token generator, is to think through the tokenomics properly. Ideally, you will put your tokenomics into a spreadsheet so that you can play around with it until you're happy. And then you will normally also publish that on your website. But yeah, the tokenomics are important because if you are sending the wrong signals here, then you might not attract any investment. And on the other hand, if you do the tokenomics very well and everybody can see that you're well incentivized, then this may attract significant investments from the general public.
That's fantastic. I think that's pretty much all I would say. It's been a great section on my part as well, and I actually appreciate the clarification on my own end. So I think it's actually time for us to jump into the community question. If you're all prepared well with that, so let's get started. If that's cool with you, I can see a lot of hands raised.
Yes, sure.
Okay, fantastic. So let's start with Calvin. Hey, Calvin, your mic is unmuted.
Hey Radko, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
hello. How you doing, man?
Yeah, very well, thanks. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I love what you've been saying so far, regarding the token. So just to jump off with my question, my question is basically about the challenges. I know you've talked about the challenges, earlier, but I just wanted to know what are some of your biggest challenges you have faced so far, within the past few months, and how do you plan to reduce such challenges? I don't know if you can just talk us through that.
Yeah, sure. So we, like I described earlier, one of the biggest challenges is to kind of stay on top of what's happening in the industry and making sure that we're developing the right features for our users. And yeah, simply the way to do that is by listening very carefully to the feedback that we're getting and making sure that we incorporate, what our users are asking for in our product roadmap. I think that's a continuous task that we have, and that's something that we're trying to do all of the time. And I think if we continue to do that, then we will make sure that we have a great product going forward as well.
The opportunity to speak. So I just wanted to know, basically there's a lot of people using your project, and there's a lot of feedback that you might get. So I just wanted to know what basically is the feedback you've gotten from different people using the token for different chains, and how you guys use these feedbacks to basically improve the user, to make the whole platform user friendly.
Well, like I said, we really try to incorporate the feedback that we're getting from our users. And we also watch very closely the customer support requests that we get. And by that, it helps us to identify the, let's say, obstacles that some of our users may face.
Thank you very much. Also on the issue of the fees that the users got to pay, is there any something like
Your mic is breaking.
sorry, am I audible?
Sorry, I could hear you for a while and then it dropped off.
I was just talking about the gas fees, whether there is any something like discounts to reduce the gas fees and basically attract more people to your project. For example, the Ethereum chain is known for its high gas fees. So just basically, do you have some kind of system where you reduce the cost of these gas fees for the users that are trying to create a new token?
So the gas fees in general are set through supply and demand on a particular network. So that's something that we unfortunately don't have any influence on. But what we usually recommend our users to do is to select a chain from the range of supported chains that have lower gas fees. Over the most recent months, the two most popular chains on Token Tool have definitely been Binance Smart Chain and the Coinbase Base chain. Especially Base chain has extremely low gas fees. And so, yeah, I would say that this is the best way to save on gas fees, because on Ethereum itself, deploying a smart contract is relatively expensive from a gas fee standpoint, simply because of the way the chain is still operating. So yeah, really the best way to avoid that is to go to other chains that have much lower gas fees.
Thank you very much for the answer to my question. I'll be dropping the mic now. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your question. So moving ahead to the next person, let's take Achi Ari. Hey, Achi Ari, your mic is unmuted.
Hello, Ben.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go
What's
ahead.
up? How you doing?
What's up? How you doing, man?
I listened to you while talking about the tokens and so I listened to you while talking about the tokens. You talked about a lot of tokens and the rest. So I do want to ask about the security of your project. How secured is it? Since right now it's really important that security and all these things are really important aspects of a very great project. So how secured are you guys so that it will help users who are trying to invest in this project be self-confident that their tokens, everything concerning them are really important and safe for you guys?
Well, Token Pool is not a project that you can invest in directly, right? So the product that we provide is something that allows you to create tokens, but we're not pitching a project that people can invest in. It's more about creating your own project.
I would say, hey, actually, I think it's best for you to go through the website and do some research for yourself. It's not like Token2 is actually a platform where users can actually create their own token and all this stuff. So it's pretty much for you to go through the website, and if you jump in late, maybe after the writer, then you might listen to it again. Thanks anyway for the effort. So let's take another person. Hey, let me take in Gold. Hey, Gold, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask your question, Gold. Okay, while we wait for Crypto Blaze, a question from Brad Chris. He said, I still need to know one crucial stuff about this project, which is the ability of the individual behind this project. So, talking about the capacity of the team, can you briefly talk about how long you guys have been in the space, you guys' experience and area of expertise, and do you know each other in person when it comes to like the team perspective?
Yes, we definitely know each other in person very well. We've been working together for more than 5 years now, so it's a very experienced team. It's also been, working together for some time longer than those 5 years. But since 5 years, we provide tokenization capabilities. So it's definitely a team that has worked together a lot and that knows each other very well and that meets regularly.
I think that actually answered the question. So I saw. Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So my question is about the sustainability of the project. Why I asked about the sustainability of the project is on the long run, there are a lot of projects that come into the space. We have some meme coins and the rest coming into the space today. But the sustainable part of the project is what those projects don't look after. So apart from the community growth and as well as your token generation, what other events do you have to make sure your project is a sustainable one on the long run?
Well, I would say that Bitbond is sustainable simply that by serving with a product that a lot of people need and use, which can be seen on the fact that over 5,000 tokens have been created through it. And otherwise, I would say it's on the projects themselves that are launching tokens through Token Tool to make sure that they are sustainable, because this is not something that we would that we would control ourselves. But this is really up to the users who use Token Tool.
Yeah, but what I was trying to ask was the funding aspect of your project. Talking about apart from token from the community, as well as other events when you guys generate revenues. What other plans do you have to generate funding for the sustaining the projects for the long run?
Well, we just generate revenue with our product, and that's it, right? We are not, like I said, we are not a token project ourselves. So we were just an infrastructure company that generates revenue, and it's not like with token projects that need to generate revenue other than the token that they have. But we already have a functioning business that generates revenue in its own right.
All right, thank you very much. I think I got the answers to my question. So I wish you guys the very best. Thank you, Ben, for meeting me.
Thanks for your question, man. So let's take one from Boss Baby. Hey, Boss Baby, your mic is unmuted.
Unfortunately, we're at time now. So I would need to head on to the next meeting. So I would say thanks a lot for all of your questions. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. So I think that will be the end of the community question.